live finally. This light is bright. Hello, y'all. Oh, this is really an awkward angle. It's always something every single live stream. Hey, y'all. Hello. Now, this is a little unorthodox because I have to eat as well as talk at the same time and break down everything. This is one of the most anticipated Periscopes for you all. So we are looking at great moments in production and delivery. Bangtan Sayandan. Okay. There's minimal space for me to dilly-dally on this because for these boys to have such a small discography, they've done so much. BTS came on the scene in 2013, and I'm going to take you through the progression of their sound, basically. So let me get the disclaimer out. This will be 2 parts because we've learned from horrible uploads that making a video too long for Periscope doesn't go on YouTube all that well. So this is a 2-parter. And the first part, I'll be looking at the intros as well as the ciphers. I'm liable to have a lot of stanky faces and say a whole bunch of horrible things. And it's not because I'm mad. It's just because I simply can't take it. And then the second part, we'll look at some of the songs that weren't necessarily singles, but just some amazing moments. It's just some good stuff. So I've been a fan of BTS since 2013. I do not quite call myself an army these days. It's just a little bit too intense, if you ask me. I'm just a fan of BTS. So my disclaimer, like I said before I got into all of that. Why am I not an army? Because they're crazy, and I choose not to be. Like, you stay in a fandom long enough, you see just how volatile it can get, and I'm not quite pleased with the actions of them, much so the same of XOLs when EXO first came onto the scene. I'm a fan of EXO. I'm not an XOL. I'm a fan of BTS. I'm not an army. I'm an I Got 7. I'm a Blackjack. God rest that soul. I'm a Starlight. There are other fandoms that I'm much more dedicated to and consistently keep up with everything more than this. To be 100% honest, I stopped listening to BTS's music after a particular album because they realized, they became self-aware and realized that they have emotions. And if you know me, if you watch my Periscopes or you watch my YouTube channels or anything, you know I like to say I'm dead inside. So when they started feeling, I had to back off just a little bit. So yeah, anyway, my disclaimer, I am not a professional in this industry in terms of production or anything of that sort. However, I do have music industry experience, both American and South Korean. I am a music junkie. I am known worldwide as one. So I do have some analytical moments, if you will, that allow me the understanding, the capacity to understand music in a very unique way. So there you have it. It's 9:08. I'm going to take another bite of food, and then we're going to get into these intros. I love so many groups, but I'm truly only a VIP at heart. That's what's up. Much the same with BTS. With Big Bang, when I first got into K-pop, I was like, oh my God, I'm a VIP for life and everything. I got into Big Bang when Alive came out, and I wasn't too keen on going backwards in their discography. I listened to a few things. I didn't quite like it that much because it didn't sound like what 2012 sounded like and beyond. So in hindsight, I'm not that much of a VIP. I just like Big Bang a lot, So I believe you have to immerse yourself much deeper into a group to call yourself, a serious fandom person for them, and just liking some of their things on a superficial standpoint. For some, that might be enough. For me, I think more would be necessary. I know certain groups' discography, award dates, appearances, schedules, because I have no life, like the back of my hands. And then some groups is like, oh, okay, that's cool. I like that song. Fun for you. All right, let me get another bite of food. And then we're going all the way back to Too Cool for School and looking at the intro. If you're new to my live streams, I do weird stuff. I'm going to take my hair up and down 15 times. I get uncomfortable. I might cry. I kid y'all not. There is something that could bring a tear to my eye. But we ain't got there yet. That's going to be a little later. All right. The intro to Too Cool for School, that was their debut album. And one thing for certain about BTS gives you an introduction. They are one of the few groups that consistently gives you some type of introduction that substantially lets you know the tone of what's going to happen on the album. And I can pinpoint for you all as we go through this, the moment that BTS became self-aware, the moment that they went from a group that only a handful of us knew about to what they are now. And it's literally based upon an introduction. So we will get there. We are looking at a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 introductions. And the first one is Too Cool for School. So here we go.
We're now going to progress to some steps which are a bit more difficult. Ready, set, and begin.
Okay. Having a personal fangirl moment. One minute and 3 seconds of an introduction. First and foremost, the feels came back because this is when I was like all BTS'd out like a crazed woman because this was their debut year. And I was so intrigued and also judgmental of their look. And then I heard their sound and I'm like, oh, snap, this is gritty. This is exactly what they were intending. This introduction, Too Cool for School, they were distinguishing themselves from other B-oriented groups, you know, BAP, Block B. There wouldn't be a BTS without those influences. You can quote me on that. They wanted to show you that they were really about this hip-hop lifestyle. This wasn't something that they were just gonna grasp as a concept, albeit it was presented as such. But they have consistently given us some form of the hip-hop lifestyle with every single introduction. What made this one very unique was the fact that you didn't really know much about the group members at that time. It was really about having a DJ on there and scratching and just showing out a little bit to give you the old school hip hop vibe. That's what they were going for. That was what their imagery was like at that time. That's what the promotion details were like and everything of the sort. So what would make this interesting in terms of great production and everything is the fact that they juxtaposed current sounds with old school hip hop, and that's not always easy. Case in point, current sounds and old school dramatics. If you've listened to Childish Gambino's new album Awaken My Love, which I am enthralled with, you can hear phonically and all of that it's obviously made in this 2016, but it has a very old school sound, and that's what they did with this BTS intro. So we go from there and we jump over to the intro to Oh, Are You Late? Bruno Mars the same as well. He's doing a lot of retro, although I find it quite questionable for him, but that's another subject for another matter. Okay. Excuse me. Told y'all on Twitter I was going to be coughing through this. This is acid reflux. Spare me. The intro to Oh, Are You Late Too? Bruh. First off, it's not so much the production, which if you find the instrumental to it, you can hear the layering of the thick drum kit, which is very, very hip hop. But then they went and put orchestrative strings over it, which gives it a dramatic feel. And then you've got Rapmon still putting himself out there as the solid leader of the group, because we really hadn't heard anybody else on the intro just yet. Rapmon comes and he tells you about some personal things going on in his life, things that his father told him and things that he's watched over the progression of the proposed, possible, alleged demise of a relationship within his family, his household. the delivery is so passionate that it's enough to make the hair stand up on ends on your arms, because you can hear the force. Also, another thing for you all who are long-term BTS fans, or those of you who are tried and true dyed in blue army, you can hear how young he sounds in this. This was his first moment of putting himself all on the line, and he introduced an album with that. That's profound. So let's go ahead and listen to this. It's 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Not that lasts forever. You only live once. So, live your life, not any other's lives. Take chances and never regret. Never be late to do what you want to do right now. Because at one point of someday, everything you did would be exactly
still give me the feels.
Right? 아버지는 말하셨지 인생을 즐겨라 아버지 떼어서 보고파 당신은 인생을 즐겼나 왜 당연하게 당연하게 됐고 당연하지 않은 게 당연하게 됐어 왜 나 인생에서 나는 없고 그저 남의 인생들이 살고 됐어 이거 진짜야 도박도 게임도 아니야 딱 한 번 보낸 인생 넌 대체 누굴 위해서냐 9살 아니면 10살 때쯤 내 심장은 멈췄지 가슴에 손을 얹고 말해봐 내 꿈은 뭐였지
Chincha boy Chi. Boy, Chincha boy Chi. Like, for real? Like, that young man got on there. Oh my God. He got on there and ripped with so much passion, not about an album concept. It was strictly his own story. And you come off of Too Cool for School where we all laughing like, okay, this little Korean dude got a blind high top. Like, really, what is this? And he's like, oh, fine. You thought it was a gimmick. Let me tell you about what I'm dealing with as the leader, as a person who did well in school, but I put everything on the line because this is what I wanted to do. Like, it's profound. And we very rarely hear Rapmon growl on anything. He ended with a growl. His cadences had growl to it. It was gritty. It was so raw. And the strings elevate with that. That's an amazing production choice. It absolutely is. I'm going to do it one more time just because I love it. Literally, it makes me tear up every time. I don't even need his speaking in English, which was a surprise because we hadn't had that in the previous intro. But the grit, the delivery, like, he left it on the line.
So,
man, live your life, not any other's lives. Take chances. And then he was young, giving you this knowledge. This was our first exposure of how stupid, deep, and smart he is, you know?
Right now.
Strings is pacing, the build up.
Everything you did would be exactly what you will be.
Wow.
아버지는 말하셨지 인생을 즐겨라 아버지 떼어서 보고파 당신은 인생을 즐겼나 왜 당연하게 됐고 당연하지 않은 게 당연하게 됐어 왜 나 인생에 나는 없고 남의 인생들이 살고 됐어 이거 진짜야 도박도 게임도 아니야 딱 한 번 보낸 인생 넌 대체 누굴 위해서냐 9살 아니면 10살 때쯤 내 심장은 멈췄지 가슴에 손을 얹고 말해봐 내 꿈은 뭐였지 진짜 뭐였지?
Lord have mercy. Excuse me. Good grief, he ripped on that and left it like it was no big deal. Oh, Chinchabochi. Like, really? Oh, are you late too? Now I am. I'm a little late because you've impregnated me with your words. Just a smidge, you know. It's just a little bit too much we're asking for. This is not where everything changed, though. We are making our way over to the intro from School Love Affair. And it's cool. It's cool or whatever. And the problem came in the album after that. So let's get into this one and I'll point out the things that makes this unique. And then we will get into the literal definitive sound of when everything changed for BTS. Don't ever have acid reflux, kids. It's horrible. Okay. You do remember this, right? This intro? Yes, no? Okay, for those who don't know, It's Sugar J Hope, and then it ends with Rapmon. As I said, the album after this is the one that gives you the definitive moment where things change for BTS. But this was the precursor. Logically, it was the precursor. Let me explain. You have 3 different vibes in the intro. And the intro was actually 2 minutes and 54 seconds, which is not common. That's ultimately a song. Why are you calling it an intro? Why are you calling it an intro? Do we not know who BTS is? The kings of giving you cerebral concepts that have to dismantle themselves off the music? They were introducing you, or us, introducing you to the profound changes they were about to make as a group. They will never remove themselves from the hip hop lifestyle, but they knew they were getting ready to transcend elsewhere. They had to introduce you to this slow groove R&B that we have heard predominantly in the last 2 albums. They had to introduce you to this hype sound of music where they get to rep their cities and whatnot, like they did on one of the albums. Well, multiple albums, honestly, but one of the albums. And then they had to give it back to you to let you know that, yeah, we know how to sample, we know how to layer these tracks, we know how to put the English in there and whatnot. It is a full encompassing experience of letting you get introduced to what was getting ready to happen for the next 3 albums. They are insane with thinking that way. So let's rewind it again. It starts with Sugar, then it goes to J-Hope, then it goes to Rapmon. So they put Sugar, God bless it, over this simple beat. He in the booth. Talking about some first encounter, first text, first phone call, first date, first kiss in our own space. Like, he's giving you a whole relationship.
아 잠시만요.
One moment. Wait. Why?
형 이거 아니잖아요, 형.
Well, why? What?
이게 뭐야, 형?
He's like, it sounds like he said something else. He said, I want to give it to you. He's like,
제스처 한번
really?
보여드릴게요. 아, 음악 한번 주세요.
Well, give me the music.
그렇지, 이거지, 이거. 아, 사랑은 희망적으로 가야죠, 희망적으로.
J-Hope, y'all. Giving you the hope that you need for it to get hype.
소림없이 고백하는 게 나의 스타일 너 위해 사람은 이 한 몸 다 바칠 타입 항상 널 향해 조명을 비추게 girl 이건 너와 나 위한 사랑의 무대인 girl 우리는 고백지 셔지 않고 닫고 우리의 미래는 밝고 화사의 알록달록 너만 있으면 뭐든 다 가졌지 like I'm in league 너와 지금부터 사랑의 문이 열리지 go in
죽이네 죽여. 역시 사랑은 희망적이지.
They're saying what things should be. Pause. Sugar is telling you that love should have some kind of deepness and feeling and everything. And then J-Hope is like, no, everything should be hopeful. It should be all of that. That's what we are. And Rapmon, sitting in the studio listening to all of this, is like, really? How can life always be hopeful? This is not Bantan style. They're like, well, you know, that's not Bantan style. What is Bantan style? Hip-hop. It's like, hip-hop? Yeah. It rips.
맨날 희망적으로 사냐.
희망적으로.
아, 방탄스타일 그거 알잖아.
어? 뭔데?
방탄스타일. 힙합.
힙합?
Let's go.
You give me
This intro was money, y'all.
BTS 우리가 사랑하는 법 10대던 20대던 같아 사랑하는 건 RM So now I'm telling you the story 난 이렇게 사랑에 벗어나는 story This is just an intro shining by my whole mind and body You know that her refusals and rebels could never stop me They could never betray me This is my ideology
Gotta pause. Let's go back. We had already had bits and pieces of Rapmon giving us English anyway. Now he's doing wordplay. He's playing with us. Oh my gosh. He says it. This is just an intro shouting about my whole mind and body. He gives you that. And you like, oh, okay, that's what we doing. And then he says, you know that her refusals and bad words could never stop me. He's not talking about a girl. He's talking about the masses. He's talking about the audience. You cannot keep me from doing what I'm pursuing. They could never retard me. This is my ideology. What? Who in the world can dampen my heart's blood? Nobody. What's up? What's up? What do you do? What do you do? I mean, he said the majority of that in English and then flipped it back to Korean just to make you comfortable, you know. So let's rewind that. This is one of the best intros ever.
Let's go.
You give BTS 우리가 사랑하는 법 10대던 20대던 같아 사랑하는 건 R&B. So now I'm telling you the story. 난 이렇게까지 사랑해봤어. 넌 thought this is just an intro shining by my whole mind and body. You know they heard refusals and rebels could never stop me. They could never return me. This is my ideology. Who in the world can't get with my heart's blood? Nobody. 참 우리 넌 어떠니? 사랑해보지 않았다면 꼭 나처럼 해보는 게 어때? 참 감정이란 게 묘한데 난 널 웃게 했는데 넌 널 웃게 하는 놈에게 가더라고. Yeah, it's love. 그래 그게 사랑 누구 지질하다고 말하지만 나 정말 괜찮아. 사랑할 땐 한 번도 상처받지 않은 것처럼 내 모든 걸 아삭한데도 터질 것처럼 사랑할 때는 좀 화끈하게 사랑할 때는 좀 따끔하게 좀 화끈하게 좀 따끔하게 우리 사랑할 때는 좀 화끈하게.
Clear that for you. That was just Rapmon the first time. Now it's all of them. This is the first time on an introduction that Rapmon was not only accompanied by someone else, but it was also showing that we are Bantan, which is why it ends with Udi Bantan style. I love how you get a little peek into their personalities with this intro as well. Exactly. You definitely do. And I saw somebody say they needed to be working on their paper. Hashtag same. So the ending of it does have the entire 7 boys doing their thing, and then they get to end it with shouting out, "We are Bangtan." Oh yeah, and all of that little hi, what they're saying is passionate and prickly. Like, we got this passion, but you don't want to touch us. Boy! Rapmon, J-Ho, Sugar, Rapmon. Then it would tell you go pop. No, yeah, okay. So yeah, the intro was nice. Now we hit the definitive moment, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The moment where things literally change by the way the songs are produced, the delivery, everything. We made it to Dark and Wild. One of the best albums, hands down, by BTS. I understand some of you might be newer fans and you're feeling Wings or The Most Beautiful Life because it's a compilation of 2 albums. Or you might be old school and you're like, nah, don't nothing beat Too Cool for School or whatever the case may be. This album gave us everything. It gave so much. And this intro isn't the longest one they have. It's 2 minutes and 33 seconds. But Rapmon gives you a total narrative. It was me, but that was one of my favorite intros. You always be ignoring me. You always have me ignoring my schoolwork. I'm sorry. Rain, oh my God, let me know. So with Dark and Wild, which, God, just is such a great album. It's such a great album. Which, by the way, let me let you know just how Dark and Wild peaked the charts at number 2 in Korea. And it was the highest charting they had until The Most Beautiful Moment in Life came and then Wings. So they held on to that for a good chunk of time. Like, it charted number 3 in the world. It was the first thing that charted for them in the world. It's a great album. And all of the charting that they've done since was a stepping stone from this album. Like, don't sleep on Dark and Wild. It is a profoundly great album. And the intro, What Am I to You? I know if you watched the actual teaser video, you probably was sitting there like, what am I to you, Rapmon? You need a hug? I will give you a hug. And the fact that they recorded some of this while filming AHL is crazy. And that is why this particular album is everything that it is. It was the kickoff they needed to be able to make the music they make now. The song quality on previous albums, although nice, sounded nothing like what they sound from this album on out. These songs now literally do sound like they could be on any country's FM radio station. That was not the case when they first came out. Not even with the second album. It was not until Dark and Wild came out. It just wasn't. It's a great album. So this intro, we're going through the breakdown of the album is still in high rotation. Yes, so true. This album starts off with Rapmon like talking about the joys of being in his relationship. You know, it's so exciting to be around you and everything. I'm feeling it. And then she flips it on him. And she's like, you know, you too needy and whatnot. She sounded like me. Help me, Jesus. You too needy and everything. And he's like, this is bad because I carry you on my shoulders like you're everything. You are the weight in my world, and you gonna make me snap. And he literally snaps on the song. And then we go straight into the song Danger. Like, of course, they did the whole aggressive thing that almost every boy idol group does to show that they're manly and everything. Oh, namja, namja, namja. But the intro really did it because you hear him lose it. He's all lovey-dovey and all this and whatnot. And then he says, but why? But why? And then the music changes. And then his ad-libs change. And then his tone changes. And the music get all aggressive and drum heavy and whatnot. They produced a story within your mind in 2 minutes and 33 seconds. And we about to take that together. So here we go. If you're feeling the Periscope so far, hit them hearts. Hit them hearts. While I eat.
Come here, I'm about to take you higher. We about to set this love on fire. 이런 느낌 처음이야. 엄마도 못 말렸어. 내 진심을 말해도 결국에는 내가 이었어. Baby, you should know you change all of my negatives to positive. 가시를 세우고 있지만 볼 수 있어 너의 장면을. 가식은 날뛰게 만드는 그 사람이 너의 사실을. 내가 전부 다 알게 할게. 당신은 나한테 고파. No, yeah, 오빠 다른 노팽이들과 달리 입죠.
I can't hit the hearts, I'm driving. Somebody got tamales? Oh. And now we're about to hit a change. The strings are starting to change. He's like, why? Oh, why? We were like this, and I'm your pocket monster, like you got me right here, and now you about to flip it on me? Why am I finding an excuse to call you like I'm a sinner? Alright, so we got the hip hop drums. And now he's about to snap. The music just changed the note to get darker. Listen to this hate. Then you just hit a symbol on me and just walk off. Like, this is demanding emotionally. Like, he snapped. He snapped. I was loving you. This was such a good relationship. And then, like, you hit all my chapsticks. And you know I live in a place where my lips get dry. Why would you do this to me? And I called you for help. I sent you some text messages and you told me I was bothering you. I just wanted to know where my chapsticks was, girl. What am I to you? Am I your ashy lip rap monster? Is this what you want from me? I want moisture in you. See, he was really, like, just trying his best to not jump through the microphone and snatch her entire soul. That's what it was. I get it. I totally get what it was. I'm not against it. I would have wanted to beat her up too, but we don't endorse domestic violence. So the only way he could do something about it was to get in the booth and be while he's saying everything. I get it. I can hear the echo of the mic dropping on the floor. Exactly. Like he's done. He's like, oh, y'all want me to go in here and talk about a relationship? That's what we're exploring. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. I'll go in there and tell you all something. I got a little story. Low-key, every time Rap Mom talks, let alone raps, I just think so hard. So yeah, he slips. He literally snaps. And I want to rewind it and hear that part again, because the music pretty much backs off. You don't notice it unless you're listening for it. You had all of this build up in the beginning, the strings start to get lighter and start to dissipate, and someone did acknowledge the strings get lighter. But when he starts throwing those raps so fast, all you hear is the drums. You don't even realize that the strings is chasing it. You will now that I've pointed it out, though. Listen.
난 아무것도 할 수가 없어 어느새 습관이 돼버린 썩소 넌 좋지도 나쁘지도 않다고 해 내가 앞서가니 아닌 건 아닌 건데 내 자기는 짝사랑 난 팔에 막하는 막사랑 좀 잡아줘 이건 꼭 상대 없는 줄다리기가 잖아 what you say oh baby don't you play 네가 불길이라도 푸푸시 거릴게
Drums are heavy.
제발 모르는 사람보다
Simple.
미소는 날 보지마 자꾸 내게 아무것도 원이는
They drop the beat. Now the strings are more intense. I'm gonna pause it because you get the point now. This introduction changed everything. It changed everything because they learned so much during their time in America. They could not stay the same. If you want to be true to the artistry, you really want to do what you said you set out to do, you got to flip it. So with that being said, we get to the intro for the most beautiful moment in life, which was finally the moment Sugar was like, okay, we've done enough. I can go ahead and get on a track. I'm not going to play the entirety of it. It's 2 minutes and 2 seconds, and I still want to get to some other things before part 1 ends. But what we're looking for is just some key points. Sugar is synonymous with heavy breathing. And that's not me trying to be funny or anything, but literally when you think of him, you think of him killing himself on a track. He's pacing himself when he spits. And I've said this before, and I will continue to say it until he retires. So the way that he gasps and catches air in his process is very, very intriguing in this intro. And then secondly, he's the first person to just drop a curse word on you in the middle of an intro, and there was nothing you could do. Nothing. You couldn't escape it. You didn't know it was coming. The music was gone. He yelled at you, and then the beat just came back on, and you sitting there like... So let's acknowledge some of these interesting moments. Breathe. I refuse to let Sugar make me cry. He's just, whoa.
오늘따라 내미 멀어보여 고토 위에 한숨이 고여 현실이 두려운 소녀 공을 던질 때면 유일하게 맘이 되는 너야 홀로 던지는 건 림을 향해서 내가 던지는 건 수많은 고민과 삶의 고통거린 세상을 나를 지켜줘 아직 설레고 커져가는 놀이터 손짓에 따라서 발렵힌 작은 공이처럼 조금 바닥을 기지만 난다 오히려 세상에 다 잘 될 거라며 괜시리 소리쳐 하지만 세상은 되레겁죠 그럴 거면 멈춰 머리를 채운 상념 공대신 미래 던져 또 남들이 칠하는 별점과 성공의 기준은 결격 덕예암처럼 퍼지는 걱정 God damn it 던져버린 공과 함께 퍼진 웃음 끝까지 차오른 네 숨은 꿈틀대는 꿈들 빨라지는 초보 행복해지는 말 이 순간은 영원할 듯하지만 해지는 밤이 다시 찾아오면 또 먹는 현실 정신을 차리면 또 겁먹은 병신 같은 내 모습에 자꾸만 또 겁이 나 덮도는 현실과 남들은 앞에 달려가는데 왜 아직 거기 나 숨을 쉬어 아니면 꿈을 꿔
Help me. He's a beast. He is a beast. Let me get up. Let me put my body back in this chair. The fact that he incorporated a basketball into the beat, you better say it because I was coming for it. He used the basketball not only as an analogy of his own life, but he used it to make the actual beat. Like, Sugar, please. That deep breath he takes kills me, as you've just witnessed. I've moved the camera and everything. Like, there's so much emotion. Sugar, do you need an inhaler? I might. Sugar uses his breathing as instrumentation as well. There was no reason for that deep breath.
겁이 나 덕도는 현실과 남들은 앞서 달려가는데 왜 난 아직 여기 나 숨을 쉬어 아니면 꿈을 꿔
I can't. I just... and the sound of the sneakers. Look at y'all come through. This is where the newer BTS fans started coming in. They like, I need to know what the hell is going on with this group that people keep talking about. I keep seeing hashtag behind the scenes. What is this? There y'all go. Now you're starting to point out the stuff, so you do listen. Good. All right. So then we can go ahead and move our way forward into Wings, which is finally J-Hope's moment. It was just so exciting. I mean, it was other people involved, of course, but like I can't undo the intro without seeing J-Hope dancing. I just can't. So, Boy Meets Evil. Ooh, that's such a handsome picture on there. You don't you just stop by some of your favorite channels and just look at the pictures that they picked to put the lyrics on? You'd be like, All right, here we go. I figured if I'm gonna talk about the video of it, might as well watch the video. No, y'all wasn't tripping. I was, because I just clicked it looking at them like.
My scene was not specifically this or that, but consisted of having shaken hands.
You got me singing along and shit. Might as
The devil
well.
helped me.
By the way, the interlude is going to be on part 2. Because we need to talk about the interlude. All right. Here we go. Ratmon existing, okay? Talking, breathing, scratching his hair. I don't know. Had to see J-Hope dancing. Listen to that. Again, we're 3 seconds in. And they are doing a sample. Excuse me. But it's about to get smoky on you. You better dance, boy. With the big old feet. Here, but I can't move. Give me something young, but got an old school feel. He's waited so long to do one of these intros. So it doesn't have a lot of a tempo change, which is not an issue because his delivery is what gives the build up to the music. Sounds like bourbon or whiskey. Now it changes. Then you got the vocals. And drop that EDM on you. That change up is phenomenal. The best introduction that they have by far. And then it just calms itself right back on down. Man. If nothing else, you have to acknowledge the fact that every person shines in some capacity during an era. Wings has been his, along with V. I feel like they challenged themselves more than anyone else this time around because they've been waiting the longest. So his intro is the first time that the boys mixed up their old school sound, their old school feel with straight up EDM. They mashed up a genre they're not even known to have, even if it was just for a couple of seconds. It's a phenomenal intro. So aside from the change up of their whole sound on Dark and Wild, this intro already shows us that whatever they're going to come out with in 2017 first is about to be something wild too. So that was the first half of Kinda Gens as well. I challenge that to a degree. I would agree only in the sense because everyone had a solo moment. But Jen has always been substantiating himself as one of the most profound voices in the group. We just kind of knew V as the person we get mixed up occasionally when we think it's Rap Mom. Because how many of you thought that he was like not doing the verse on Just One Day until you saw the video and was like, oh snap, that wasn't Rap Mom, that was we didn't really know. We know V to be a meme, whereas we know Jen to just be, you know, the old head. But he's always been very substantial about what he delivers. So that's how I challenge it. But you're more than welcome to present your own case about why you think Jen shined more than V and J-Hope in this particular album's era. I'm always open to other interpretations because it's not just about my thoughts. But it's 42 minutes in. Excuse me. We're clearly not going to be able to squeeze in the ciphers during this first portion. So we're going to have to go over the ciphers in a second. I'm not turning this into a 3-part. I have a life. But we got to talk about the ciphers. We have to talk about that interlude that I had pulled up, sitting there looking at that doggone picture of that handsome man and how good that intro is. And you better believe we're going to have to talk about Butterfly. And not just any particular... We got a lot we got to talk about in the second video. So I'm going to go ahead... Excuse me. Gonna go ahead, go re-up on some cough medicine because I sound horrible, and get myself ready for the 10 o'clock session, and we're gonna immediately kick it off with the cipher. So I hope you've enjoyed yourselves, learned a few things, and if not just at the medium, you enjoyed listening to some of your favorite moments from one of your favorite groups. All right, I'll see y'all shortly. Bye, y'all.